at Esposito's Auto Body up in North Hollywood said, "I will do the car." And then, you know, then I kind of, I don't have much choice. And so I very gladly and willingly said, "We'll take it apart. We'll do the stuff. So we took the motor and trans and all the drivetrain out of the car, and John Esposito at Esposito's Auto Body took the body and did magic with the rust repair, chassis work, straightening things, getting it all to look nice. So when you see the car is still aubergine. It is Roger's car, the way he originally did it. So anyway, Roger has been, ever since Porsche Motorsport, has put together the parts to do this engine. And what he envisioned was a 2.9 liter twin plug motor. And that's what this is. Pardon?
Just your everyday motor.
Yeah, just an everyday 2.9 liter twin plug.
That was the dreams of the night, right?
Yeah. It's what everybody needs. Everybody needs this, yeah. So he had amassed these parts over the course of at least 10 years, maybe more like 12 or 13. So what we started, just to describe what has gone on inside the motor, always helped us with the engine case. The engine case is what we call a 7R case. That is the strongest of the small hit stud dimension magnesium engine cases. And the barrel spigots are out to 2.7, but we're using 2.9 liter pistons and cylinders. The crankshaft is 70.4 millimeter crankshaft, but a little bit under, like we would do with a race engine. So there's a little bit more clearance on the crankshaft. The engine case has been opened up, and we're using Roger supplied a worn out GT3 oil pump. It's not worn out at all. But the thing that's unusual about the GT3 oil pump is it has multiple scavenge pickups. So the sped oil that's down in the bottom of the motor is more readily taken out, so there is less froth for the rest of the engine to turn through. So the GT3 oil pump is, in fact, a good thing to do, but the pressure, we had to deal with the pressure. So one of the things we've learned over the course of doing engines, Dan and I, the pressure relief valve and its orifices and the safety bypass valve and its orifices are not big enough for this much of an oil system. So we've come back and made sure that the GT3 oil pump will not overwhelm that and then fill up the engine with oil. So that's taken care of. We've got ARP rod bolts in there. We've got the Molly 93 millimeter pistons and cylinders. We've got all the new sprockets and chains and all that stuff going out and so forth. Roger envisioned the 911S camshaft, and we've got Elgin that made the camshaft nice again. The heads and stuff were done by Ollie's years ago, actually, and made the twin plug. And so what you see here is 10.4 to 1 compression ratio, which is pretty high. It is, and then 93 millimeter pistons. What's interesting, Porsche went to this valve size in 1970, and they used the same valves in the 2.2 liter motor, the 2.4 liter motor, the 2.7 liter motor, all the way up, and they didn't change the valve sizes until they went to the racing engines and the 3 liter engines. So that's what we're seeing here. They're actually a little bit on the small side for this larger motor, but that kind of helps in the torque ranges. The intake system that you see here is MFI, mechanical fuel injection. Porsche did that for some of the racing engines as early as 65. In the street cars, we started seeing it showing up in 69. It's an adaptation of Mercedes-Benz diesel fuel injection, which is really kind of interesting. But basically, it's kind of arbitrary, and the mechanical injection pump drives off of the camshaft there, and the injection pump only has a couple of inputs. One is the barometric cell, which is barometric pressure. We've got engine temperature coming off the exhaust system here, throttle position, and then engine RPM, and that's it. So it's as if it's a programmable, arbitrary system that is mechanically programmed. So all of that is happening inside the injection pump. Hopefully it's happening right. The intake system is, again, something from Hendry and Supertech. It's a 69 set of throttles that are 40 millimeter, and then opened up the intake ports in the head are a little large. They're 40 millimeter, and then the Venturis, or these Venturi stacks here, are aftermarket for 48 Webers, something that you guys know about. And they've been modified to accept the linkage, and this linkage is kind of an early factory setup that's been modified. So we've got a different pump length rod, and Dan discovered as he was putting it on that the geometry wasn't quite right. So when the throttle would open all the way, it would over-center the pump and then back the pump back off. So we had to do something about that. And Dan's got a little extension to limit the travel on the pump so that the pump goes full at the same time the throttles aren't open all the way full. So that's something we had to deal with. Anything I missed? We're stock. These are SSI heater boxes and a stock style dance stainless muffler. That's what will be on the car. What we'll do today, as we run and we kind of get happy with what the engine's doing, we'll try right below your feet there is a factory sport muffler, a Leicester sport muffler. It's basically a muffler that's completely hollow. We'll try that one and see what it does. And then when we get all the way done, then it's time to really sing. That's what the microphone's on. And we'll make some thunder. Okay? Any questions on what we've got, what we're looking at? Oh, come on.
No, but here's to Scott and the guys that did all this work.
I want to make
a couple of other things too. The ignitions are done by Parts Classic over in Arizona, Donahue, and that's Mark. The fan and the housing there, that's Mark Mosshagen.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, and that thing, you wouldn't believe how that lit before he got hold of it. There's a whole bunch of people.
Distributor.
Pardon?
Distributor, did you already mention that?
Yeah, it's a JB Racing distributor. And with magnetic sensors in it. So, anyway.
Been a lot of support, a lot of donations and support.
Yeah, a lot of donations, a lot of support. In fact, when we get all done, we're going to make a list. Right now, there's, I think there's a dozen different businesses that have contributed. Everything from Elephant Racing to Parts Classic to, and I should do this off the top of my head. Yeah, Elephant, suspension, Stoddard,
yeah.
for Schwartz, Will Hoyt for some of the paint stuff, Roger Crawford, obviously, TLG has been helping, Tony and Marco, John Esposito. I shouldn't do this, I'm going to miss somebody. SSF, Joe Anselmo's helped us there too. So there have been a lot of Rothport, yes, the fiberglass. All the fiberglass stuff comes from Rothport. Jeff Gamroth there. So lots of people have been involved.
So before you start the dyno test, should we do a pool and put in a number of guess the horsepower?
Yeah, we should have. We should have played.
Yeah, some of you guys might know it already. So.
Well, we got a good number. We stopped. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. So.
And what we're running for fuel?
We are running 110 leaded race fuel. Just because it smells so good. How are you?
Scott, it's just a weekend project to throw it all together, right?
Yeah, we just throw it together. Yeah, right.
How many hours was that?
The engine's going to have over 100 in it. 100 hours. And then we got the car.
I want to thank everybody. I'm sorry when I'm talking, it's not very good. But guys, I can't stand how much you guys and everybody thinks. I just cannot stand how much you guys all done all this stuff. You know, I never thought I was kid like and it's revealed. And like I said, I can't get enough words out. But you guys,
Roger, your name
yeah,
is I need to say again, John Esposito is the one that started this. That's what started the ball rolling. When he said, "I will do the car," that's when the whole thing took off. And we're just glad to be able to help. So.
Well, let's hear it from my boss.
All right, you want to hear it run?
You bet.
All right.